Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
Hey everyone, I have an IT background and I've been building and running digital online projects for about 20 years. Basically, a lot of things from e-commerce stores to web portals. And over the past 6 years, I've been mainly focused on AI-powered content generation products, experimenting with new ways to make creative tools more accessible and engaging for users. Actually, this is how I came up with this project.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
To make a long story short, I want to fully focus on my new startups. The Facebook project is a solid cash flow business, basically a true cash cow, which I believe is exactly what most buyers are looking for here. It just doesn't have a unicorn potential. And at this stage, I wanted to swing to something bigger, if you know what I mean. One of my new startups has already been accepted into Google Cloud AI program, and it looks very promising to me. And I want to free up my resources to dive into that.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
The bot has been running for quite a while. So we had enough time to troubleshoot and automate everything that was needed. Everything that I do right now is basically from time to time, I just check the main metrics like sales and active users to make sure that everything runs the way it should. Occasionally, I take a quick look to confirm that the cloud server is up and stable. Very rarely, it might need a reboot. But this is something that can be done even from the admin app. From time to time, I review general platform policy updates to make sure that everything stays compliant. Basically, all of that would take very few hours per week.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
If I were to keep the business, I see three pretty straightforward ways to boost it. First one is running marketing campaigns. Previously, the project reached over 700,000 registered users and more than 60,000 monthly active users, mostly through organic growth and the referral program. Marketing channel is almost completely untapped and could bring some nice and strong results probably pretty fast. The second option would be activating the existing user base and testing some cross promotions or upsells. With a large user base, there's a lot of potential to introduce premium features or to connect with other products in your portfolio to drive more conversions. And the third point would be expanding beyond Telegram. For example, launching web version of the service. Telegram works great, but its payment commissions are quite high. So a web-based version could both lower these fees and open up new content processing scenarios.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
When it comes to risks, most of them are quite typical for AI-generated content projects. And in this case, none of them seem to be major. The first one people often think of is something like, what if OpenAI or other big players build the same thing? In practice, that's very unlikely. The large players are heading to a completely different direction towards enterprise use cases and identity verified cameos approach, not open face swap tools. And they're extremely cautious about using personal likeness. So they're not competing in this space. The second potential risk is AI regulation. There is a lot of noise around it, but the real trend is toward transparency, not restriction, meaning monitoring AI generated content, not banning it. In the future, projects might be required to add some kind of automatic watermarks, but just to mark the content as AI generated. That seems a minor technical update and doesn't seem to affect the business model. Plus, if any such regulation will be enabled, it takes quite a long time to bring them into effect. And finally, since the product operates mostly on Telegram, there is natural dependency on the platform and its policies. But basically, same thing applies to any app built on major ecosystems like Meta or Apple, whatever. Anyway, it's always a good idea to keep an eye on Telegram's policy updates to stay aligned.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
Given the product's relative simplicity, I believe one or two detailed Zoom calls during the transfer process would be quite enough to convey a complete understanding and vision. Beyond that, I would be happy to provide a couple months of ongoing advice through email or Telegram messaging for reasonable business-related questions. And if needed, Zoom calls can also be arranged during this period.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
One of the main reasons I considered selling this project was to free up my focus and resources for new initiatives, my new startups. And earn-out payment structure may sound like an option at some point, but it doesn't seem to be like a hassle-free way forward. So this is not exactly something what I'm looking for.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
I would say that this is a great chance to get a fully working, cash-positive business built on a solid and time-tested foundation. The product has been live long enough to prove both the technical setup and the business model. So it's a custom Python-based Telegram bot that is stable, easy to maintain, and runs smoothly on cloud servers. But the best thing about it is the viral referral system. So the project has been growing organically for a very long period of time with no marketing spend at all. So new users creating a steady flow of traffic and revenue. That is something you don't see often. A model that is not only self-sustaining, but profitable without ads. And at the same time, there is plenty of upside left. For example, a new owner could easily scale with paid ads or introduce upsells or even expand to new platforms. In short, it's a well-tested, low-maintenance, cash-generating product that keeps running smoothly and has a huge room to grow.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you will find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.